This is Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details. Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
We are here giving our AFC Draft Grades. We already did the NFC ones. It's time for your AFC teams, and we are going to go alphabetical order, starting at the top, going all the way to the bottom through the AFC East, or AFC teams in general, talking about how we graded their drafts. Did they address needs? Do we like the picks? Do we not like the picks? What was head-scratching? All of that and more for the 2025 NFL Draft. I am very excited for it. We are here for it. And to get this thing rolling, because we don't want to waste your time, we are going to kick this off. I want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs here for a second, because they absolutely got dominated up front in the Super Bowl. We saw that. And so they, I believe Joe Tooney's out. They get Josh Simmons. Is Josh Simmons going to be healthy for the season? We don't know. Omar Norman out of Tennessee, I love. Ashton Jaloti, I did a lot of tape on him. He's a very physical rusher. I'd be interested, based on his size, if they don't kick him inside and go to a defensive tackle rotation. I think he's a little massive for the outside there, but he has some bona fide rush moves on the edge, as well as just a high motor out there in Louisville. I really liked what I saw from him, just being able to clean up sacks when they were pushed to him, which is something that they really missed there on the Kansas City front. And then you kind of roll it out. But my favorite pick for the Kansas City Chiefs, in fact, they got Jalen Royals in the 4th round at pick 133. Absolute steal. This guy was projected to go late second, early third. You got him multiple picks later. That is a steal of a pick, especially in a wide receiver core and an offense that really was underpowered. And then Brashard Smith out of SMU in the 7th round. I really like Brashard Smith. I think Brashard Smith is a good pick for them, especially with some of the questions that they have at running back after, obviously Clyde Edwards-Helaire did not pan out. You saw the injury and how that hurt them to the running back core there. And how that really slowed that offense down. And even then, they weren't really looking correct into the playoffs just because of the injuries and sort of the timing and things coming back from that. So I think getting a bona fide, like with Brashard Smith there is a great pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. And just those two guys on offense alone provide them depth, provide them stability at positions of need that they really required. I mean, Brashard Smith there at SMU, a 1,300-yard guy, 14 touchdowns, 5.7 carry, 8.4 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns through the air. He's a dual-facet guy, very useful, and I think he's going to plug in and provide them another very versatile back in the backfield. So NFL.com gave them an A-. I like that grade. That's probably the first one I really agree with without moving it up or down just a little bit, but an A- is a solid grade for this draft in my opinion. And Sammy, I'm going to let you do one that I really want to do, but I'm going to hand it to you. I'm going to let you talk Las Vegas, and they got an A for their draft. And honestly, I think this is an A+ draft for the Las Vegas Raiders in my opinion.
I don't blame you.
Agree.
I don't blame you for them for saying A+ draft. Look, Ashton Jeanty is one of those prospects that you can't miss, and I thought that they hit it out of the park with that pick. And then getting Jack Beck at wide receiver out of TCU at wide receiver in the 2nd round. For me, it was a bit of a reach for me. However, I do think that they do have a need at wide receiver regardless. And if they believe in Jack Beck, everybody's got different grades on him. I do like the pick of Darian Porter out of Iowa State, cornerback. And then I think one of my favorite picks, ironically enough, Dante Thornton out of Tennessee, wide receiver, super freak of an athlete. And for the speed that he has, his size, it is absolutely freakish. I do think that the Raiders are in a bit of a weird spot in terms of like where they're at in their franchise. Trading for Geno Smith is definitely one of those things where they want to win. They want to start winning. Getting Pete Carroll's another one where they want to start winning. And I feel like these picks are win-now picks rather than guys that you wanted to develop. They got all positions of need in the first couple of rounds for sure. I like it. I like the draft overall. Would I give it an A+? I don't know. I don't blame you. But I do think that this isn't. I don't think this is lower than the B at all. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and give it an A- because they really tackled their 3 biggest positions of need the first 3 rounds, and then after that it's just tackle, and more trenches and stuff like that. Stuff that Pete Carroll really, really likes to key in on as a head coach. So you guys say A+. I wouldn't say A+. I would say A- for sure though.
Hey, also they get the award for drafting the player with the best name. Tonka Hemingway is a great football name.
That is a football name.
And you know what position he plays? Defensive tackle. It is a perfect name.
Perfect defensive tackle name. Ideal.
Yeah. I like that. I like that name for real.
Oh, dude. So he was at the East-West Shrine Bowl game, and they kept talking about him, and it was like Tonka Hemingway. And I swear, I probably imagined this. I was drinking a little bit when I was watching it. It was later. I think like the Tonka truck is how that logo is how they showed his name when they talked about him. Was just like the logo on the side of the little toy Tonka truck. Dude, love it. Absolutely love it. But I'm going to take the Chargers, Sammy, and I'm going to take the Chargers.
I wonder you skipped them. You wanted to take the Chargers.
I wanted to take the
alphabetical order. I'm like, wait a minute.
I wanted to take the Chargers. So I'm going to take the Chargers here because I want to talk about this draft. The Los Angeles Chargers. You saw them get probably what PFF described as the most athletically gifted running back in this draft in Amarian Hampton. They get an absolute outside threat in Trey Harris, although his separation numbers aren't the greatest. You kind of see the length and the capabilities able to do as an outside X-type receiver. You then pair that with Keandre Lambert-Smith. This is 4.3 speed in an offense in college that didn't really throw the football. And if he had been anywhere else with a competent quarterback, you put him at Syracuse, you put him at Ohio State, you put him any of these other offenses, Keandre Lambert-Smith is a top two round wide receiver. But the guy I want to talk about the most is probably the guy who's going to add the most versatility. And it's a guy you guys didn't know the name of when I brought him up in our tight end segment, because it is Oronde Gadsden II, who ended up going in the 5th round at 165. And this guy was a complete anomaly until you look at the ACC statistics that the Syracuse receivers and tight ends put up, and you realize Oronde Gadsden was the 4th overall receiver in the ACC to join the other 3 Syracuse players who rounded out the top 4 of the top 5 players in the ACC for receiving statistics. And Kyle McCord absolutely threw to all these guys and deserved to be talked about, but no one talked about Kyle McCord at all. So Oronde Gadsden goes to an offense where he is going to be absolutely utilized as a red zone threat because there is no one that can match this man's 82-inch wingspan and 38-inch vertical. Insane the things you're going to be able to do with him inside the red zone in one-on-one. Double coverage doesn't matter. Put him out wide, let him go work. I love this draft because this was the question we had for the Chargers, was that that offense with a proven quarterback wasn't performing. And now you get all of this talent in there, and you are guaranteed to see the Chargers take a major leap forward on the offensive side to pair with that Harbaugh style of defense. They got an A- for this draft. I am going to give them an A+ too. I love this draft.
Yeah, Joe, I knew you were going this way specifically because in the chat, while the draft was going on, you're like, the Chargers are having the draft that the Patriots want to have, which is going to lead us to a different discussion here in about 5 minutes. But again, like you mentioned, Joe, it's a really, really good draft class there for the Los Angeles Chargers. But again, we're going to speed past the Chargers because I don't know about you, but I see the next team up, and it's Sammy's Miami Dolphins coming up right here, Joe. Are you going to do it, or are we going to see? We better have Sammy.
I think we should let the resident Miami Dolphin fan
we got to. Yeah.
Really talk about his team's draft. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth here, Sammy. Tell me how the Miami fan reacted to this draft.
You ever feel numb to something good happen to you? Like, it's just like, good things are happening, but like you're so numb to it. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, it's a good pick, I guess. Like, it's like one of those. Kenneth Grant is a home run pick. He's a home run. It's a home run pick. It is. It's a great pick. And then getting, I'm going to struggle to pronounce this name, Jonah Savinea, a guard out of Arizona. I think it's a great pick too. From then on, I'm not really a fan of. I'm okay with the pick of Jordan Phillips out of Maryland. I'm okay with Jason Marshall out of Florida. I'm okay with Dante Trader out of Maryland, I guess. We didn't really address the safety as much as I wanted to. I would imagine Malachi Starks was available, and we needed a safety, but they decided to go Kenneth Grant. So I'm okay with it, I guess. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I believe in your vision. And then we drafted a QB. Drafted a freaking QB. Quinn Ewers. I don't dislike Quinn. I think Quinn's a great kid. I do think he's a great kid, and I'm not mad at the pick. Here's the problem, and I'm gonna give this draft a B. And the reason why I'm gonna just give him a B because I'm never gonna give any draft ever from the Dolphins an A, no matter how good they do. Never. Because because they picked Christian Wilkins too, and he's in Las Vegas. They picked Javon Holland. Well, he's in New York. And then next thing you know, we're going to trade our picks for a superstar wide receiver. He's going to have one great season and then start beating on his wife, and we're not going to be successful anymore. I really don't. I don't know why exactly I'm so numb to this. This is not a bad draft. I even like Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon coming into the college football season was looked at as a very highly touted running back. And unfortunately, we got him in the 6th round. I should be happy, right? I am, but I'm not because I don't know if these are going to end up working out anyway because of this damn football team that hates me so much. Zeke Biggers, defensive tackle out of Georgia Tech. I'm going to be so honest with you. When I saw defensive tackle, I actually celebrated because we're actually working on the trenches. Something we should have done earlier on. My goodness. Guys, I don't want to get off the rails. I'm happy with the draft we had. I'm not going to celebrate, anything until good things actually happen during the regular season. Okay, I'm just not going to do it. Why'd you guys make me do this, man? I am not okay when I talk about these Finns, bro. They make me so mad, bro. Oh my goodness.
Bro, so it's funny you said, have you ever just been so numb? Have you ever been so numb to something good happening to you? Because that's how I feel about the New England Patriots draft.
What?
Wow. Allow me to explain. The Will Campbell pick, I love the Will Campbell pick. Drafting a tackle is not pretty. I find it hard to be excited about a tackle pick because realistically, to his point, as an edge player, you get 1 sack a game. You're getting a massive contract. You're going 1st overall. You're doing all these things, right? An offensive tackle gives up 1 sack a game. You're working at fucking Lowe's or Amazon or whatever it was he said. I want to see him perform before I get overly excited that he's going to be the next coming of, insert left tackle from Patriots past year, Matt Light, right? Like, I want to see him do it. Rookie left tackles in the NFL are a flip of a coin week to week. And honestly, if they perform better than not 70% of the time, you feel like it's a win and you hope that turns into just, all pro level stuff in their second year. That's what I want to see from Will Campbell. I'm about to really piss Matt off. The TreVeyon Henderson pick, although TreVeyon Henderson is a great running back and I love everything he does. With this loaded draft, with how late LaQuint Allen went, with how late Bashal Tutin went, who all measure out the same way, do the same things with the similar stats and everything else they do, you could have gotten them in 2 rounds later, or at this point in the 7th round, or Jaden Blue, if you're getting just a receiving back for pass and all these things, and you could have gotten someone to help the pass rush on this team. Now, I understand, Patriots fans. You're all going to look at me like I'm crazy because we signed Harold Landry, brought in Spillane. We got Keon White. Milton Williams is going to play in the middle. Christian Barmore is going to be back. You got Brandon Swinson in the 5th round. The guy has 8 sacks last year. 5th round, yeah. My problem is you passed on Mike Green, 16 sack guy, over 30 pressures. Donovan Ezra-Raku, 16 sack guy, over 30 pressures. For a position that you actually really, really need when you had like individuals for the role you drafted TreVeyon Henderson for. I also like and dislike the Kyle Williams pick because although I agree he's probably got some of the best footwork in the draft, he is the exact same wide receiver outside of long speed that you have on this entire roster outside of Mac Hollins, who's a 31-year-old, 6'4", 221-pound wide receiver. Every wide receiver on this roster, including Efton Chisholm III, who they picked up as an undrafted free agent, measures in between 5'10" and 6'1", 187 and 203 pounds. Every single one. There are like 9 wide receivers in that room. And every single one of them, if they wore hoodies and you couldn't see their face, you wouldn't be able to tell who was who. Except for Mac Hollins, who doesn't wear shoes and is 4 inches taller than everybody else. All right? You passed on so basically what happens is in this team, your entire team and organization, your entire offense is based on timing and pre-snap read. When that doesn't work, there is nobody in this team that can win a one-on-one matchup with physicality, even at your tight end positions. No one can win a one-on-one matchup outside of Mac Hollins with physicality. Nobody can. There's no one who can do it. So basically, if you miss a pre-snap read or you don't win your one-on-one matchups with the wide receivers, which is what you're going to have to do until you prove you can, the passing offense doesn't succeed. You are going to be fixing low boxes just like you did all last year, where your running game was actually the best part of your offense. And it's still going to have to be. Because until they can prove they can win one-on-one matchups. And legitimately, two of these or 3 of these guys that I listed, Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, Kendrick Bourne, Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins, Efton Chisholm, and Kyle Williams, 2 to 3 of them will not be on the Week 1 roster. When I brought all this up, everyone's like, you know more than Elliott Wolf does? Elliott Wolf made 2 good picks last year, and one of them's in fucking Dallas. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
You don't have like some like resemblance or maybe some faith that Drake May could possibly elevate any of these guys?
Just hold on. Just hold the phone here, because first of all, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear me. My internet's glitching out, but blah, blah, blah. All I heard, and Joe, I heard like bits and pieces because, again, my internet's glitching out, so all I heard was stupid shit, stupid shit. That's all I heard from you that entire time. Because, Joe, listen, okay? This is Mike freaking Vrabel. Okay, do you know what Mike Vrabel just did with this draft? He just changed the freaking culture.
Culture.
Joe, are we gonna win it? No matter who we picked in the draft this year, were we gonna win a Super Bowl? Were we gonna win a Super Bowl next year?
Yes.
No.
I agree.
No matter who we took in the draft, we're not winning the freaking Super Bowl next year. So what is the goal, Joe? The goal is progress. The goal is getting better. The goal is potentially.
Let me explain. Let me retaliate to your statement, Matt. I wouldn't have been as pissed off if fucking D-Soak, fucking Damian Harris doesn't go out. This is a playoff team, dark horse opinion. And I watch all these fucking Patriots fans light this fucking thing up like it was gospel, like we were back. We were back at it. We're not.
This is a dark horse playoff team. Okay, they could potentially sneak in as a wild card.
If you don't like Drake May,
I like Drake May, but you're telling me they're a dark horse wild card with what? The Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, fucking Bills, and you go. You like Colts, fucking Houston.
Mike Vrabel has coached less talented teams to the AFC Championship game with the are we going to forget the Tennessee Titans? What he did with that team?
That was a really good defense.
Joe, we won 4 games last year with the single worst head coach in football. We just upgraded that to a top 10 head coach in football, and we just upgraded our roster. Regardless of what you think about these selections, regardless of what you think about our free agency, we just 2x'd our roster. Our roster is 2 times better than it was last year as well. So again, I'm not saying that leads to double the wins. I'm not saying, our roster is the best roster in the NFL. We still probably have a bottom third of the league roster. But again, with the head coaching change, with the changes that we made, again, first of all, you talked about Kyle Williams. Here's a random stat. There's been 3 receivers picked 69th overall in the last 10 years, okay? Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, and Tank Dell. Okay, those have been the 3 receivers picked in 69th overall in the last 10 years. So again, that's been kind of a gold mine for picks. Again, that's kind of that's not really a tangible stat. That's just like a random coincidence stat. But again, the point is, again, they addressed everything you need. Again, culture picks. Will Campbell is going to knock your freaking face off. Travion Henderson, have you seen him in pass pro? Have you seen him knock the top off of defenses? Have you seen him run routes? Travion Henderson's the second best running back in this draft, and we got him at 38th overall. Again,
I'm just saying, you could have got Bayshell Tootin in the 4th round, who does all the same shit.
Bayshell Tootin is not Travion Henderson. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Bayshell Tootin is not Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson.
At least Travion Henderson can take the top off the defense, Joe. I don't think that running back can.
Captain on the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes last year. Bayshell Tootin was in God knows where, being a really solid running back, but he's not freaking Travion Henderson, okay? And again, not all these picks were perfect. You get a really nice athletic center in Jared Wilson. Again, that helped provide depth to the offensive line as well, which you were begging for last year. And now that we get offensive linemen, apparently it's a freaking travesty that we're gaining more offensive linemen. We get a defensive lineman and Joshua Farmer in the 4th round, who's a really, really good value in the 4th round. I don't know about the Craig Woodson pick. That might have been a reach. But again, the first 5-6 picks in this draft, Braden Swinson was a 3rd round projection. These are really, really good picks, Joe. So again, I don't think it was the best draft of all time. I'm just saying the freaking Super Bowl, but I think we are a dark horse, sneaky playoff team in the AFC that could potentially make some noise.
I'm going to hold it back until then.
In this division.
Until we play a game, I'm not buying it, because I did the numbers. I looked at Milton Williams, played 47% of the snaps. He's never been a reliable starter, and he has one of the worst run defense grades in the NFL. Until he proves me wrong, I'm not sold on the how much money we paid them. Joshua Farmer has the ceiling and potential.
Farmer will be there too.
Just coming off blood clots, how healthy is he? Everyone acts like he's just going to, I'm Christian Barmore, and I'm here to give you 8 sacks a season again. You don't know that.
Joe, you want to know who has a bunch of questions about every player on their roster at this point in the season? Literally every single team in the NFL. We could do this for literally
every but I'm not a fan of every single team. I have pessimistic ideologies.
Exactly.
That's a terrible way to live, man. I don't know.
But if you look at the worst case scenario, fellas, you'll never be disappointed. You'll always be pleasantly surprised.
What the heck? That's a terrible way to. The best place to be is when expectations are high. Rex Ryan said it himself. Okay, and I'm not saying Rex Ryan is speaking gospel or if he's this all-time great coach, but look, I think I kind of side with Matt here. I think you should be at least a little optimistic by getting a top 10 head coach, having a QB that could potentially be top 10 by the end of the season, depending on his development. Like, we're talking about. And then on top of that, the bet is, you know what? This QB is going to be able to elevate receivers. We're going to start at the trenches where it really matters, Joe, where it really matters, something that the Dolphins don't really do, right? So just do that, and then everything else will take care of itself. This is how the playoff games are won. Look at how the Eagles built their roster, okay? Look at how the Chiefs have won their Super Bowls. It has started in the trenches, and God forbid,
Sammy, real quick. Here's the thing. Joe is the one who preaches about the freaking trenches all day. We just built this team through the freaking trenches, and now he's like, it's not good enough. We're not a good team. Shut the hell up. Shut up. This is exactly
what we talk about.
And now you're mad about it.
Can we talk about the Jets?
I didn't get the guys I wanted, though.
Can we talk about the Jets, please, guys? I know I've never said that out loud.
Yes. The first time anybody's ever said that, but yes.
All right. Be nice, man.
Oh, God. The fucked up thing is that just before we go to the Jets, Patriots fans, if you're still here for this, I like I said, I'm numb to the good things. I would have rather seen it a different way. When they're winning games, I'm just going to be just as happy. However, I've been a Cubs fan all my life. The Cubs have done me dirty most of my life. I never let the expectations get high, because I'm always used to being disappointed. So I always just ride the fact that I'm going to be disappointed. That way, when I'm not, it just means that much more to me. Understand, this is just me, worst case scenario in it. And that's the last thing I'm going to say. We're going to move on to the Jets, someplace where expectations are always high for no reason whatsoever. However, I love the Armand Minbu pick. Everybody in this channel knows I'm a huge Armand Minbu fan. They needed a right tackle. They needed a right tackle. They got a right tackle. That is great. Now, Dolphins homers are absolutely going to have to hate the son of Dolphins great, As Mason Taylor will be wearing the Jets jersey for him, and I love the Jet. I love the.
I will never hate on another man's kid. Okay, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But when he drops that game-winning pass against the Dolphins, Sammy will go serves him right.
I'll smirk a bit. You know, I'll laugh a little bit. But I mean, hey man, it was a good draft that the Jets had. Yeah. It was a solid draft.
So I like the first 2 picks. After that, it was kind of. I didn't like the Thomas pick out of Florida State at corner. He was kind of all over the board for me. I maybe they had him a little higher rated. It feels like a reach. Arian Smith out of Georgia, however, he's got a lot of upside. Very, very tough physical wide receiver. They needed that there, especially with, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams leaving. I think Arian Smith is going to plug into that offense very, very well. Malachi Moore, Francis, I'm going to butcher this name. Actually, he's from Miami, Sammy. You know this guy, Francisco.
Francisco Mauigoa.
Mauigoa. There you go, out of Miami. And then Tyler Barron out of Miami as well. They got what they needed when they needed it. I think that my only pick that I really have a problem with here is the Thomas pick out of Florida State. I didn't like that pick, but overall, the Jets here, I'm going to give them exactly what NFL.com. It's a B+ draft. I think that, your biggest problem is that you were kind of hoping that Jordan Travis would be your next quarterback. You took a risk on drafting him in last year's draft, and we have just found out that he is going to be retiring because of the injury that ended his Heisman candidacy before entering the draft. Very unfortunate. Our thoughts go out to Jordan Travis. We were pulling for you, man. Everybody loves a good comeback story, and we wanted to see one from you. Best of luck for the rest of your career, whatever it may be in. Just really, really, really unfortunate. But it does leave quarterback questions now that realistically, they lost Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Travis is now gone.
They have Justin Fields.
And you got Justin Fields, who...
Hey, man, look. Contrary to what everybody believes, I think this is a great opportunity for Justin Fields to really prove himself. To truly prove himself. I really do think that he went to the Steelers, and Mike Tomlin never really gave him the full reins. Yeah. They're like, oh, you're here, but when Russ comes back, he's starting. And look how that ended up for Pittsburgh. And I'm not saying Justin Fields would have done any better, but I do think it's fair, and I think it's fair to give him one more shot. I know everybody's like, oh, we gotta move on for him. Look, man, if Daniel Jones can get 6 years of opportunities, Justin Fields can too, okay? And the fact is Justin Fields has actually shown flashes of success in this league, whereas Daniel Jones showed absolutely nothing. His best year was, 15 touchdowns? Like, I get pissed off thinking about Daniel Jones. And the fact that he gets those opportunities and Justin Fields doesn't, it kind of makes no sense. And I did mention the Steelers. Can we talk about them for a second?
They're the next team on the list, so sure, you can go right to them.
Okay, look, I'm just going to say this, and Steelers fans, don't get mad at me. This is just a stat I'm pulling up here. Since 2010, since their Super Bowl win, they've won 2 playoff games. 2 playoff games. 2010 was their last one. It's been 14 years, and they've had 2 playoff wins. But guys, guess what? Joe, Matt, guess what, man? Guess what? They're over 500 each and every one of those seasons, guys. Oh my goodness, what a stat! Can we give them a round of applause? Oh my goodness! Oh man! Wow, Mike Tomlin, way to set the culture, buddy. No nonsense. 500. Give me a break. Give me a break. Respectfully, give me a break. Mediocrity is being celebrated in Pittsburgh. This is a franchise that has the second most or the tied for the most in Super Bowl wins. Okay? And unfortunately, they're going to stay that way if they don't make changes. And I'm not I know everybody gets like all tight when talking about Mike Tomlin. Let's go ahead and talk about this draft for a sec before I get to him. First round pick, they go Derek Harmon. I don't hate the pick. I don't. And as a matter of fact, I like the pick. Here's the problem. Is it really a position of need? Is it truly a position of need in a draft class where it is very deep at defensive tackle? Do you really need him? The answer is no. Your next pick, Caleb Johnson. I don't hate Caleb Johnson at all, and I actually like the pick. He's my second running back on the board. I like the pick of Caleb Johnson. I don't hate it. Then you go Jack Sawyer. I don't hate it. But then you go Yaya Black, and then here's what really grinded my gears. The QB you decide to pick is Will freaking Howard.
Natty champion Will Howard, by the way.
Shut up, Joe. Let me understand something.
Hey, if we're going to celebrate Travion Henderson for being a Natty champ, you better give some respect on his name.
No. No, we're not. I don't want to disrespect Will Howard. I am going to anyway. He is not the prospect that Shedeur Sanders is. I don't care what anybody says. I know. Shedeur Sanders brings a lot of baggage. Okay, he does. He brings a lot of it. You're going to pass on him. Why? Because of character concerns? Because of his confidence? You don't have a quarterback! Let me read you this QB room for a second. Matt, check this out. You're going to love this. The QBs on the roster at the time of the draft. You want to know who they were? You want to know?
No,
Mason
I don't. I really don't.
And Skylar Thompson. Those were their QBs. That is you want to talk about the Browns being the QB of despair. This is oh my goodness. I don't even know how to describe this. This is as if you took I can't find any way to describe this. There's no way to defend this. I get it. Shedeur Sanders has character concerns. Oh, he's way too confident. Who cares? You need a QB. I get it. You drafted Kenny Pickett.
Sammy, real quick.
Go ahead,
Pittsburgh
Matt,
Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers had Antonio Brown on their team for a decade. You want to talk about character concerns? You want to talk about distractions?
Oh my God.
They had Le'Veon Bell. They had Big Ben Roethlisberger. We saw what happened with him off the field. Like, you want to talk about character concerns and you want to talk about like off-field issues.
Oh my
and,
God.
and now you don't want to take a chance on Shedeur Sanders because he's confident. It's like, you got to be like, it's ridiculous.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't get it. And the truth is, it's completely unacceptable. If NFL, and you know what? It blows my mind. It blows my mind because I don't understand how everybody except NFL scout, except the people in the organizations, and I know they probably know a lot better than us. They probably do. But nobody looked at Shedeur Sanders and thought to themselves, oh yeah, he's a 5th-round pick. Oh yeah, he's not that good. Oh yeah, no one thought that. I don't get why the Pittsburgh Steelers think that they're this franchise that gets to just go ahead and just make these decisions. You know what? Maybe a while ago, yes, but now the jig is up. Okay, the gimmick is up. The over 500, I'm going to make the playoffs and then get blown out every wild card. It's time to take risks. It's time to take chances. They didn't take chances. And you know what? I'm not going to let that affect this draft grade. I'm still going to give them a C-, no, D+, but I don't understand. Your biggest position of need was QB, and you addressed it late in the 5th round when he was right there. Honestly,
do you want to know NFL.com graded him as?
What?
They got an A every single day.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Hey, Sammy, it's okay that they waited till 6th round for quarterback because they're sitting there waiting for the savior, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, to come turn their franchise around. Like, super good plan.
Which blows my mind because you want to know who did that? You want to know who did that too? The New York freaking Jets. But they were looked at as stupid, and everybody was right about that. But now the Steelers we're the Steelers. Oh, we're the Steelers. The Steelers are different. We're a different franchise. Bull crap. Not anymore. You guys have been 500 for a decade and a half. and have done nothing. Change it up, damn it.
So with that, we can transition to the last team in the AFC we're going to review.
Team pisses me off.
Matt,
sorry.
You have your opportunity to talk Tennessee Titans.
Man, we were just so negative on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a team that I really expected to be a negative in this draft was the Tennessee Titans. I have trust issues with the Titans and their organization. I didn't think this draft was going to go well for them, starting with Cam Ward. And listen, I thought Shedeur Sanders, apparently I'm the only one in the entire world, but I thought Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback in this class. I thought he was a little bit better than Cam Ward. But again, I see why you picked Cam Ward number 1 overall. But in my Titans video before the season, I was like, man, I really think they should trade down from 1. I think they could get a haul. I think they could prepare for next year's quarterback class, kind of just tank this year and write it out with Will Levis. I know Titans fans don't want to hear that. That was kind of my plan for the Titans, though, because next year's quarterback class is really, really strong. But again, they picked Cam Ward, and the more and more you hear about Cam Ward, the more and more you like Cam Ward. Like, there's been reports, basically, when he showed up to the University of Miami, like, he had the program by its throat in 72 hours. Like, he was already screaming at people in practice, like already, leading the team basically 3 days into being there, so that's the type of stuff that I want for my quarterback. That's the type of stuff that Cam Ward's going to bring. And again, he has the physical talent. He's going to be able to sling the ball all over the yard. Now, who is he throwing the football to? I'll get to that a little bit later with some of these picks. But again, Cam Ward with the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, I mean, it's something that they basically had to do based on, how they've been playing with Will Levis the last couple of years. But again, the second round pick, you go with a really nice edge rusher in Oladejo in the second round out of UCLA. He's a player that a lot of people really thought he could go towards the beginning of the second, maybe end of the first. He's a really, really good player. You get him in the second round. Then I also love the Kevin Winston Jr. pick in the third round. Hard-hitting downhill safety. Now, he's coming off an ACL, but the ACL is the only reason he wasn't a first-round pick. This guy would have been a first-round pick if he didn't tear his ACL this year, and he's an absolutely dominant safety out of Penn State. Now, in the fourth round, here come the receivers. You get Chimere Dike, a 4.3, 4.40 in the fourth round to start out the fourth round. Really nice speed receiver there for Cam Ward. Then you also get great value in tight end Gunnar Helm, who is projected in the third round. You get him in the fourth round as well. And then maybe even better value with Alik Iomanner, the big X receiver out of Stanford. Those of you who've seen Iomanner's film, he actually dominated Travis Hunter in their individual matchup when it was Colorado versus Stanford. So again, he's someone who a lot of people had as an early second round projection. You get him in the fourth round. Again, basically 3 straight really good pass catcher picks there for Cam Ward. That's going to be a really, really solid staple for them too. And then you get offensive lineman Jackson Slater in the fifth as well. Another really solid pick. And I also like the big running back Khalil Mullings out of Michigan in the sixth round as well. Transferred from being a linebacker to a running back. Dude's 6'2", 225. He's in the Derrick Henry mold. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but he's Derrick Henry size. Like, this guy is a massive human being from the running back position, and it's something that you're really going to like. And then maybe my favorite thing they did, and again, I went on a rant as well about this guy, and it's one of Sammy's favorite guys. It's an undrafted free agent. It's maybe my favorite thing they did. They went and got Cam Ward's favorite target as an undrafted free agent. That's Xavier Restrepo, one of my favorite players in this draft. Again, they let him go undrafted because they took his 40 time way too seriously, and now Cam Ward has his favorite target as an undrafted free agent. Like, that's an absolutely beautiful thing for maybe Sammy's second favorite team now, with his wide receiver and his quarterback in Tennessee, the Tennessee Titans. So again, overall with the Titans, again, I'm still a little bit worried about the offensive line. I hope J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski take steps forward. I hope Dan Moore is what they really paid him to be as well, to be the left tackle of that football team. So I hope they take steps forward. But again, the wide receiver and tight end improvements for Cam Ward, great values and talented players on both sides of the ball. I thought this was a home run draft for the Tennessee Titans. They needed lots of help in a lot of places, and I think they got it. This is an A. Tennessee Titans. Again, we were really negative on some teams, especially lately, but I think the Tennessee Titans knocked this draft out of the park.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.